It's crazy. As soon as I said that, the stream cut off. So now I gotta reset everything up. That's crazy. And I look up and more tokens clips sent to super chat. It's crazy, bro. Nah, I ain't gonna start it over. I'm just gonna take up where I left off. I'm gonna put part 2. Damn, I had a good stream going. Hey, appreciate the likes. We got to get the likes back up so everybody come back. Yeah, it was the Morg tokens comment. That's what broke it for sure. No question. I said that shit and then looked over and it was cutting off. It had cut off. Or did y'all even hear me say something about more tokens? What if it happened before then? But I was basically saying, this the test right here to see if it's some shit. But I was basically saying, I see that happening with more because when more is paired with a tropa, when a tropa goes up, more goes up. So it does kind of like, you know, that does happen. So if hyper pumps, it's going to pull Titan X with it. Same thing. If hyper dumps, it's the same. All right, we back. Welcome to part 2. I hate when shit like that happen, man. All right, let's get back into it.
A lot harder to do because you need billions of dollars to push Ethereum up.
Let me go back a few seconds just in case.
And it pushes it up substantially. So by default, the buy and the main for have. And what we notice with Hyper, so Hyper will have its own buy and burn, and the main liquidity pool for Hyper will be Titan X Hyper. And whenever the Titan X buy and burn buys Titan X on market, not Hyper on market, it pushes up the Hyper price because it's the main liquidity pair. And it pushes it up substantially. So by default, the buy and burn supports all the projects that have it as its main liquidity pair because it's a lot easier to move up the Titan X price at 10x than it is to move up the Ethereum price at 10x.
Mm-hmm.
So that is going to be extremely interesting going into the future.
Say that again, would you please? I think that was a pretty big nugget that maybe many people aren't. It's a lot easier to put up what price versus what price? Say that again.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to drag up the Titan X price at 10x than it is to drag up the Ethereum price at 10x. So for a liquidity pool with wrapped Ethereum and then the protocol token to actually drive value through the main liquidity pairing, it's a lot harder to do because you need billions of dollars to push Ethereum up. Titan X, you only need a couple $100,000 for the price to go up 4 or 5x. So nice. The Titan X buy and burn, if everybody, and I've seen pretty much every project has done it because it just makes sense, it's math, is Titan X as the main liquidity pair of their token when the Titan X price goes up and the price floor keeps moving up. It's only day 75 and it's already, so on day 1 you could get 1.707 billion Titan X. It was 0.2 Ethereum. Ethereum was fully 50% lower.
All right, no cap. I bought some Titan X this morning. Just to DCA.
It's like 40% lower than what it is now. So you can get, let's see, you can get 25% less Titan X.
But that don't mean you go, no. Don't go buy Titan X. Mine it. That's just because I know. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just looking at these numbers. So I don't want to have to FOMO in. You know what I'm saying? I want to just buy a little bit every now and then while this is happening. But, you know, I think I know what I'm doing.
Ethereum is 40%
I might be wrong, though.
Expensive. And the Ethereum price, how much it costs to create a mine, has gone up 5. So it's almost twice as expensive in 80 days to mine Titan X. So that price floor keeps moving up forever. It doesn't care about FUD. It doesn't care about anything. That just keeps moving up forever. So that is a lot easier to move than Ethereum because the liquidity pool is small. There's an increasing price floor, and over the future, people are going to realize, oh shit.
Now, I just think that with the stuff that's coming out the rest of this month, I think we're probably bottoming now. Like it might go a little bit lower. I think it's dropping now, but it might go a little bit lower. It might add on a 0, but I think now is a safe time for me to get me some. And you know,
liquidity pool thing is genius because another thing
dibble
that
and
you
dabble
create
in it,
is
build up
if
some.
Titan isn't your main liquidity pair, what happens is, let's say you have a token and you use Ethereum as your main liquidity pair. If people wanted to participate and trade your token, they would have to sell Titan X, get Ethereum, which hurts the price, to then participate in your project, which defeats the entire purpose of building on top of it. Because if you want to add value, you don't remove value. Now, here's the other angle on it. If your main liquidity pool is Titan X wrapped and paired with your token as the only...
No, that's I want to see something I ain't checked before. I should have checked this first. Yeah, it's down a little bit since I bought. Look at it versus ETH. Okay. Because ETH is going up. So I'm not sure what ETH did. Yeah, it might have topped out a little bit. Yeah. So
liquidity pool. Well,
who
guess what?
cares?
If anybody wants to trade or arbitrage,
That's maybe the end of the story. Is who cares? I bought it. I don't give a fuck. If it goes down somewhere, who cares?
then they have to buy Titan X off of market to be able to do it. So it's a massive net positive. Like, it's massive. Like, people are going to see soon enough.
It is massive, and you only need to look as far as the Atropa ecosystem on Pulse Chain or the PTGC ecosystem on Pulse Chain, where they create liquidity pairs with all of the different projects that are pumping, and then it gives people arbitrage opportunities between the different projects that are pumping using one base coin. And in which case, you can sell Titan X to get into Hyper if Hyper is pumping, and then take some gains out of that and put it into, you know, Dragon X or Blazer. And so but it's all tied to one. And so, and of course, every time those trades are made, it burns it. So I mean, the people that understand liquidity are pretty excited about that, which is fantastic. So I got something I got to bring up here real quick.
What's up, more token clips?
Foremost,
appreciate that. I saw your I don't know if that was a membership. I saw something on the last stream. Appreciate it. Hey, and appreciate what you do, man. Thanks.
I'm gonna share my screen.
It's really motivating, whether you believe it or not. To
Shout
see,
out to
you know, somebody
Hexagon.
repping the shit besides me. God damn. Somebody, I'm more down to my toes, damn near. You know.
For these Titan X hats. These are fat like Cambone. These are so sweet looking. I was supposed to be wearing one today. I was actually going to do some giveaways, but you know, thanks to the United States Postal Service, that's not going to happen. I believe these are available on his store now, and we will be doing some giveaways, future streams, maybe a Hyper white paper. So I'll share with you right now, Jake, and it all depends on which lens you choose to look at this through. I choose to be positive. A lot of people choose to be negative.
Hey, first things first, the thing that pops out is the end of this right here. Nobody's remining. Nobody's doing new ones. It stopped. It's 20. When this video was filmed, it was 20 ETH spent. And I can't really see. Let's look and see. $20, $64, $47. And how much is leaving? $185 yesterday. All right. Hey, DM me. I'll send you the box on Telegram. Cause I said, let me go ahead and get me one of them boxes, man. Cause see, y'all can send me free shit. Yeah, I mean, what's it at? All right, 185 said 53. So the lower this number goes, you know, well, the lower this number goes, the lower This one needs to go. 50 memberships. Congratulations.
Dang.
Drop the bag. How much is that? You better hurry up and get you one. Everybody in the chat should have a membership by now. 50 gifted. Thanks for the 50 gifted. Welcome. Shout out to the new members, man. That's a lot of members, bro. Thanks. Yeah, I'm seeing it. That's a lot of members. More tokens, get you one. It's like, it'd be hard for me. Sometimes it'd be hard for me to not see people when they talk. You ain't gotta claim it if you don't want to, because you is gonna get charged one day. Maybe. I don't know how that shit works actually. I think, do they charge you? I guess it keeps charging you until you turn it off. I don't know. But that's what's up. Where was I?
Just make a
statement
out of facts. Very little ETH coming in for miners.
Right.
Very little ETH. 20 ETH yesterday. 64 the day before.
Still a lot though. You know what I'm saying? It's still a lot. It's not a lot as it was, but 20 ETH coming in a day. That's still a lot, man. That shit could go to like 1. I mean, it could get to like 1 ETH a day if this thing just counted like for like a long time.
The day before. This is an indicator to me that people don't believe in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But what's interesting... oh, yeah. So, no, you finish, and then I'll go from there.
Go into the chart again. The one that you just had.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get there.
And you gave another 50 members. Do you have 50 members here that don't have any? Appreciate it. Was that Wavy? No, that nigga got bread. You know you got bread, your name Wavy.
This one here?
A little bit lower, where you see the amount of Ethereum going into miners. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, see that.
Can you see anywhere else where that happened as well?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Look, the last time that happened, right here, look what the price was doing. It was right here, November 12th. Let's see. Let me slow down 5. Then it looks stupid in this motherfucker. 15. November 15th, yeah. So down through here, nobody was mining, man. So this one's still doing it. Yeah, I'm still doing it. I'm in that little 20 spot. Cause I think having them end in here is gonna be like, what? I mean, that's the risk is how much is the buyback gonna be though? 187, 36 billion so far today. 75 billion day before that. Like, it's already buying back how much? 50, 80, 185, no, 353, 116. So
I've already made that.
Exactly.
Yep.
So people make the assumption that it goes down forever, but there's one rule in crypto: if there's a big community, there's a good team building, the community is excited that shit coming in the future. Usually anything that goes down doesn't go down forever, and anything that goes up doesn't go up forever. So adoption happens in waves. The interesting thing about TitanX is every time there's an adoption wave that comes in, they get in at a higher miner price.
Yes.
So actually, the further it gets elongated, the better the price will support it going into the future.
yeah, man.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to point.
It's kind of like crazy how obvious, like we coming off of the Westcott versus Marco shit, and it's just kind of funny how, like, if you don't really get this type of, like, I think these people don't understand charts and numbers. And I'm not math was my worst subject. I hated math. I hated being pressured to do that shit. But I'm pretty good at that shit now. But if you can't look at a graph and see what, then you ain't gonna do well. If you can't see it, read data, You might as well quit. Yeah, that's the first thing. If you can't read data and graphs, you might as well just go ahead and quit crypto. Quit trying to make money. Maybe just start a business, but then you still gonna need to look at numbers and growth and stuff like that. So that's like the first thing. You need to learn how to look at a graph. You can't look at this and see what this means.
Now you did it better than I did, though, so I'm glad I stopped talking. But I mean, I just look at this, and first of all, this ETH chart looks like a price chart. You know, launch, dip, interest happens, price picks up, more people got interested. Then you had this big spike, like you said.
You got Marco making
as
hats.
volume ticks up and the price goes up.
Marco started making them hats like right here.
Participation, and then of course people take advantage of that and they sell into it, and then you get low participation. And when there's low participation, that means soon in the future there could be some more action happening. And what I look at in these two numbers here is what happened after we saw this 2 weeks period of time where nobody mined. We saw future supply wasn't very strong, and that's where the price got up. So as people aren't mining here, what that's doing is it's just negating future.
See, Latin American crypto says Jake is trying too hard to make you believe in his Ponzi-nomics. Now, this is Latin American crypto, somebody who's been around a while, unless it's a different account that's trying to be a little bit checked out. So I'm gonna take what he says and be like, you know, I feel you on that. But I do see how if it's set at a certain, it's gonna come down to what the final laws of the contract are gonna be. That's, to me, that's what it comes down to. What is the ETH and how often? Once it's immutable. You know, that's what I want to ask. But, you know, I don't really want to do no streams with nobody. But that's what I want to ask. I want to ask, when, first off, when you gonna make it immutable? And not say when it's ready or when it's not, like what will make you say, okay, it's time to make this immutable? And then once you make that decision, how much ETH and how often? That's going to determine if it's sustainable. Now, I think it'll probably, it just needs to get through that inflation, because of course it's going to inflate high, but by the time people are making new miners at this point, they're going to be getting way less Titan X. So I think it'll probably just trend down and have pops like Zen, you know, and then the question becomes, after the distribution and all the inflation has happened, now what?
Your supply. But furthermore, it's even harder to mine, like not mining here, but then getting in a few weeks later, you could still get quite a bit of Titan X. Once it becomes time for people to start mining again, they're just not going to be able to get that much Titan X, because we're down to 7 million, 6.5 million Titan X per day at this point. The halvening is in June. Like, it's just getting harder and harder as people wait.
Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. So the fear today actually will equal a supply crunch in the future, because nobody's mining for the future right now. And I think there's some things that are going to burn some Titan X. And once people realize that, it's going to be harder to make that Titan X. But I got to be negative.
It's kind of like, I can see the excitement in both of their faces, because even me, it's like, because I'm already kind of experiencing it with Optimism Zen, where the mints that I'm starting, once, I've been saying this too, once Zenturions start hitting the market for Zen, then it'll start to click for people, because each Zenturion has less and less and less and less Zen in it. So no Zenturions came out yet, because it ain't been out. No Zen has been out long enough. So same thing with Titan X. All your mints are having more and more Titan X in them, but that is gonna stop. So we haven't got there yet, though. Not even with Zen, but with Optimism Zen, it's almost there.
It's also like,
it's gonna happen faster.
There's a very high chance you want to participate in these projects because of all that we just talked about with liquidity pool and it being low. So the way I look at a price chart that has a positive future obviously not financial advice, all hypothetical, could nuke to zero tomorrow, is I always looked at it as a slingshot. How do you get the slingshot to go the farthest? You pull it back the hardest. If you have a slingshot that only goes a little bit here, it's like, then it drops. But if you pull the slingshot back here, hey, you know where it's going. It goes as far as possible. So the lower the price goes, the harder the slingshot will be in the future. So, hey, I'm enjoying this.
Because you fucking driving the ship, motherfucker. You know exactly what you're gonna do. You know, that's what's kind of like sucky about it. I'm not tripping too much because I ain't put that much into it.
People need to know is the people that are panic selling, which is totally fine. Everybody can do it and money what they want. Is you're giving it to somebody. Maybe that somebody knows a little bit more. So it is going to be exciting. I also saw I'm like half on talking about other projects.
Yeah.
What I think I'm going to start doing it.
Kariga said, "What's currently making Titan X profitable? It's inflation. That's why it will fail. There's no magic, but that's why new money will likely stop entering the system." I think what the bet is here is kind of like what people wish would have happened with Zen, is people building on top of it. You just need a pump to get people interested. When, like last one, it just pumped. People start coming in, developers start coming in, and then they start building while it's going down. And then those things could make it go up again, hyper, and bring in even more people that mine and then get invested. So I think it's gonna come down to utility. We gotta face that monster as a crypto. You're gonna have to face that monster, utility. What's the reason for people to buy this? And it can't just be another Ponzi. It can't be that. It's got to be some Zenify. Like Zenify is actually a good utility. Like make a DEX, make an aggregator, something that people need to use, and they have to use your coin to use it.
If I see a lot of positive signs, good marketing, good developers, good team, have audits, have paid for audits, it's real, the white paper is there, audits are in progress, then I'll feel comfortable at least giving some type of like opinion of like, okay, is this actually a good idea? Is it a bad idea? Like, obviously not financial advice. But at the end of the day, the thing that is going to bring value to Titan X is the builder. And the fact that we have so many builders 80 days in is bonkers, because the builders scale. After one builder is successful, the other builders will follow that path. They'll build as well. And the builders scale together with the network. So the fact that we have...
I'm just kind of noticing like the Zen, this is very Zen-like procedure. And I'm noticing already, like looking at Dragon X, let me try and pull it up here. Oh, I got to pull it up, that's right. It's clean, Zen didn't have anything. What is it? Damn, I don't forgot. What's the name of that shit? The F word for Zen? I keep wanting to say Phoenix. Bro, I done forgot the name of the shit. It is Phoenix. Phoenix. You gotta check on this area now and then. 6,000. But that was the only clean thing, and it didn't do well. There wasn't, but this is starting out a lot more cleaner and organized. It seems like the community is a very minimalist, clean, simple.
The value will literally come from the community, because it's... Wait, I can hear it.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's screwed up. Story of my life.
Titan X is the purest form of community adding value, because one, the only people that have supply are the people that actually mine it, and the only people that actually mine it is the community because they had a fair launch. There's no VCs or insiders or ICO or sacrifice that happen.
Mhm.
So the only people that have supply is the actual community. The only people that can build is the community. So Titanx is the purest form of community adding value through actually building. Because what other protocol, except for L1s, can you actually participate, get a large fair chunk of the supply during the fair launch phase, but it's hyperinflationary, and then build to improve the value of the ecosystem that you're so bullish on? I don't know anything. Usually everybody just hoping and praying the dev does something. But in Titanx, people can actually take the power in their own hands, which is great, as you can see, with all the stuff coming up.
It's so funny you say that because I just saw somebody today put like price down, dev, do something. It's so funny. That's exactly what people say.
Yeah, the thing is, like, now it's like instead of dev do something, it's like devs do something.
Yeah, devs, plural. That's very true.
Yep.
Very true. Well, you mentioned the projects building on Titanx, and I'm just going to bring up this sheet that Mike Dean has done. And I know, I just want to see what's on here. So we've got
It's got admin keys.
13. 13 that's on.
It's probably
it's
even more
probably
than that.
12, yeah, because I think number one is blacked out. So 12 protocols that are known on this sheet. And if anybody wants to take a look at this sheet, it is linked in the video description below. So we've got 12 projects. This one has launch date of February 1st or 15th. Titan Blaze after Hyper, Dragon X in the next 4 to 6 days, it looks like. And this is just the known. I know of a few others that aren't on this list. So, and what do they all have in common? Look at this burn category: Liquid Titan X, Liquid Titan X, Liquid. It's all liquid. So it just depends on how you want to look at this. There's either a great opportunity for you and your liquid. You don't have to sell it. Or you can panic sell it. I don't really care because, like you said, the people that know it's coming, they're happy to buy it.
Let's see if we can get this link.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, now we're going to the hyperinflationary stage, like 18th of January, there's like 2 trillion coming out. So it's not like you're in a hurry, but that is going to get very interesting.
Cue that up.
Because it kind of goes from non-believers to believers. Because one of the things that happened in the beginning is now with Titanx, you only have a couple options. You mine it, and then you either sell it or stake it. If the staking pools are not interesting, you sell it instead of staking it. So basically, that's the only 2 options people have. In the future, they're going to have way more options. More options. So the sell pressure will go down a lot. And that's going to be interesting because then the buy and burn, all the projects. One of the cool things I've noticed about the community is they seem to adopt a lot of the Titanx tokenomics. Main liquidity pool, Titanx, the hyper tokenomics would be a better example. Where you have Titanx is the main liquidity pool. They all implement buy and burns. They all implement some kind of begging mechanism. I don't like the word begging. So some linking mechanism.
Wait, what?
Burns. Where you have Titanx is the main liquidity pool. They all implement buy and burns. They all implement some kind of begging mechanism. I don't like the word begging. Some linking mechanism.
Pegging. I you said begging.
Some linking mechanism where there's actually arbitrage opportunities, and as people arbitrage, it reduces the supply. There's a lot, and all of the projects seem to implement some kind of buy and burn thing, which is great, which is so beautiful. Because buy and burn is the best tokenomic in the world.
Did you happen to notice that Titanx got listed on CoinMarketCap today?
Finally, we filled in the form like 2 months ago. Not probably 2.5, 3 months ago.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's more eyes.
That's
more
funny how Jerry
go
said that it wasn't on CoinMarketCap and was giving it a hard time because of that.
CoinMarketCap, they can get the contract address. They can see everything they need. It's just another marketing tool that is available. Speaking about you weighing in on other projects.
Come on, man. Let's talk about the buy and burn. Why you change it, man? Come on. Get to the good shit. What you talking about?
Guys, I can see this with people, everybody being, the concern I have is that then the community always says, well, what does Jake think? And they stop thinking for themselves. And it's like your blessing I worry.
So stepping up probably fine, but at least you're focused because about it now. Focus. Then if you make your own decision, you might just front.
But there is some KYC that has happened in the background because obviously they got a blue check mark.
Pause.
So that could be an indicator to you that they just don't want to show their face, and that's okay. But if they're, if they're verified in other forms, that's an option. Or, I mean, do some on-chain stuff. If they've got a Binance account or anything like this, then hey, they're KYC'd somewhere.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, there's ways to find out if they're true scammers or if they just aren't comfortable putting their face in public. There's a big difference in that.
Yeah, I mean, this is also the thing. Is you can be anonymous if you're good at marketing. That's a big thing. It's also like one of the big things to prevent rug pulls is you want to make sure that either the liquidity pool is owned by a smart contract like TitanX has, which is basically locked liquidity and it doesn't have any functions to access the liquidity pool. Then it's basically locked liquidity. Either they do that or they have legit locked liquidity, which you can see on Dex Screener.
Yeah.
If they have that, it's very hard to rug pull unless they have a minting function that only an admin can call.
Like
Yep.
right now, I'm only looking at the ones that have a website. Like if you ain't, I can't take it too serious just yet. So what's this? TitanX market. Should look clean. Looks clean. That's it. I mean, I respect the cleanliness. Cleanliness is next to godliness. You know, what is it?
Curious George, the curious little monkey.
You can sell your miner, you can take out a loan against your miner, you can sell your stake, you can take out a loan against your stake.
I don't believe you.
I believe it when I see it. Looks good though. That looks dope. It's a cool idea. February 1st. All right. I like that one. Titans of Battle. I mean, let's check it out since they got a website. First play to earn game on TitanX. You know.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe it when I see it. It looks kind of scammy. So far as this one and this one. Dragon X. I'll zoom out. I'm trying to remember how it works. Set of contracts on Ethereum whose main functions can be called by any user. Use call functions. 44% of the Ethereum is sent to a locked contract that uses a portion of the balance to buy TitanX whenever called. 44.5% of the Ethereum is sent to a locked contract that uses a portion of the balance to buy and burn Dragon X whenever called. 3% is used, sent to the caller. So that's the reward for calling it. 8% of the rewards, Ethereum rewards accrued go to Dragon X contract through TitanX staking will be sent to Dragon X Genesis address. So 8% of the ETH goes to a fucking person. Hold on a second. My bad, people. Real life shit. The other, so 8% goes to looks like the founder. I don't really like that. Maybe they have some plan or something. Stake the Titan. The other public call functions is stake the TitanX. Man, my bad. My phone. I keep getting text messages. So yeah, this stakes TitanX, and the yield from the stake goes to buy TitanX and Dragon X. That's basically the simplest way to put it. And it has a very short minting period. 35 days. Yeah.
It's like we need a kind of like Titan police. So people that do know how to read smart contracts or like filter them through tools, and then just give the red flags. Like for example, Titan has a bunch of red flags with like the admin function, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
So people just come to their own conclusion of like, okay, is this a good team? What do the admin functions actually do? Like for example, the admin functions on Titan can only be beneficial. So like an admin function isn't a red flag; it's what do the functions actually do. So we should have some type of like
No,
Titan
admin
police.
function is a red flag. It's how you gonna react to the flag though. Like you dig deeper into the flag and see if it's a problem. But it is a red flag.
That would be great.
The one thing I am thankful for that Titan X launched on Ethereum is there's an abundance of Telegram bots that can read the contract for you and immediately tell you what the concerns on it. And then you can make the decision for yourself. I've got like 10 Telegram bots that I run stuff through on the regular. And I've just kind of figured out where, the buzzwords are proxy contract, not a good one, hidden owners, all that type of stuff. But mint functions, if, most of this stuff, anything that's a fair mint is going to have a mint function. So you just got to know what to look for. But you're absolutely right, is the tools that are necessary. And I think there's plenty of people in the community that can do that stuff. We've got a couple super chats coming in here. Marco the Hexagon, thank you very much for your generosity. Look at that number.
That's a cool number.
That's a great number. Every protocol that comes out for Titan X becomes a black hole buy and burn for Titan X. FYI, liquid Titan X is needed to play. It gets harder and harder, folks. Marco, Jake's favorite hexagon. I love it.
That was some drama in the community. Did you see that clip?
Yes.
It was disgusting.
We saw it.
That's crazy.
It was.
They did the same with me.
Oh yeah,
it's crazy.
It's funny. The bear market brought out the worst in people. The bull market is going to bring out the worster in people. Money just makes you more of what you already are. So if you're an a-hole, you're just going to be a bigger a-hole.
I mean, here's the funny part is they're not just ousting a ex-community member, they're also ousting a top 10 for 80 days straight killer app on Ethereum that will never be on Pulse Chain if the community keeps acting that way. So like they're ousting developers, not just some dude on Twitter.
Well, what did you say? Second order consequences?
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know what that means. All right, we got one more, and then we're going to get into what people actually are here for. Well, this one's kind of easy. The Titan Blaze team, thank you for the super chat. Win hyper, sir. February. We've already talked about that.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, you have a first mover advantage. So if you have the code done, the audits are done, launching before hyper is probably a very killer move. Unless you want to build on hyper, then you have to wait.
So let me ask a question then. You have in previous streams said that you don't intend to turn on the burn pool until hyper. One of my questions is are you willing then to turn on the burn pool if somebody launches a Titan X burn protocol before hyper?
Yes, that is a very interesting question. What I've noticed is a lot of developers have been smart enough to figure out something that I figured out with hyper as well, is burning Titan X and some protocols actually is not the right move. Because, for example, with hyper, you're going to be able to spend liquid Titan X. You're not going to burn it. Spend liquid Titan X, and the hyper protocol uses it to buy and burn hyper. Now, you can't use it to buy and burn your protocol. So here's exactly how a hyper would work. You mine hyper with liquid Titan X, as you would on Titan X with a wrapped Ethereum. You would just use Titan X only. Mm-hmm. That Titan X will get sent to the buy and burn smart contract, and then it would buy hyper through the Titan X hyper liquidity pool. So it swap Titan X for hyper, which doesn't hurt the Titan X wrapped Ethereum price. That would trigger some LP burning as well. And then it buys the hyper and burns the hyper. You can only use a buy and burn if you have liquid Titan X available in your smart contract that can be used to buy and burn. Because if you burn it, you can only buy and burn with 8%. So a lot of the protocols have figured out like maybe it's actually a really good idea to not burn the Titan X, but use it as a one liquidity tool to buy and burn, staking rewards, etc. Because when Titan X gets locked up in like staking pools, it's off of the market until the staking pool triggers. And then the buy and burn, it's off the market until the buy and burn triggers. And when it buy and burns, for example, when TitanX would buy and burn, buy Hyper through the TitanX Hyper pair, that TitanX that goes into that pool is locked unless somebody buys Hyper and then dumps it in the pool to get access to the TitanX. So it actually acts as locking mechanisms in all these liquidity pools.
Mm-hmm.
It is very interesting. A lot of developers have figured it out. Like, it might not be the best idea to burn. So for some protocols, it definitely makes sense. But that, like, for example, with Dragon, what they're doing is people commit TitanX to the smart contract, and then that smart contract creates a max length stake, and then uses the Ethereum to buy TitanX off of market, swap it for Dragon, and then burn the Dragon. And the other 50% of the Ethereum from the staking rewards, it buys TitanX off of market and creates another stake. So it becomes a perpetual buyer into infinity. And when the stake ends, it restakes.
Jeez, there's so much.
It's
so
a
much
really
there.
good idea.
It's crazy.
Now, see, for some
All right.
concerns is people are kind of concerned because they're like, well, that's just going to dilute me in the staking pool. But it's also going to help feed it. Like, you know, so you can't really, it's going to push TitanX up. I mean, who cares if that's the only aspect you're playing is the staking, then that's your fault.
Right. All right. I think we got through most of the questions I wanted to get through before. Also kind of buying a little time so we could get max participants. This is the first time you and I have cracked 400.
Nice.
We got 450 here. I'll be willing to bet that we'll get maybe 500 today. That's fantastic. So before I asked the first,
What happened with trustless cryptocurrency protocols? I think, for one, trustless might not be the way to start. I think that should be I mean, if you want to start like that, start like that. But I also see the other approach where starting out not trustless and then making sure everything's okay and then trustless. I think that's the best
first
way to
hyper
go.
question, I'm going to ask the
But
community.
if you're gonna
go
not
and-
be trustless, you're gonna need you're gonna probably need a founder who's out there and honest and transparent as transparency humanly possible.
and retweet on Twitter that Jake is about to start talking about Hyper, and hit the like button to this stream, get it moving, and hit your comments too. All of these little things boost the algorithm.
He really said admin function is only beneficial. He raised it, then lowered it, and it was not beneficial at all. I think it's about how you looking at it. It might not be beneficial to you, you know, but I think for the full sustainability, I think it was nice to get those early people some profit, you know, because that brought in more ETH, right? And now it's like kind of like a yoink to the people who came in a little bit late and played wrong. Because my lowest miner right now, let's see, on this account, let's see, 91%. That's a 50-day mint I did on November 26th, almost a month after launch. And I still did 50-day. It's the lowest, that's the most risky thing I did here. And it's still 91%. And it ends in a couple days. 3 days. So it still comes down to, if you played it right, you ain't hurting right now. It's
30 minutes in, Hyper T.
The person. It comes down to the person. That's good.
You just kind of gave away a little bit, but Hyper has changed. And you said it earlier. Old Hyper is now called Shogun. It's going to burn stakes. New Hyper is something new. Tell us what it is.
New Hyper is liquid. And hold on. I think what he did is he probably he was going to do staked TitanX first. And he said, well, shit, might as well do liquid and then do it stake. That's what I think he, you know.
So the old Hyper, you could burn stakes
yeah,
and get liquid.
And then he going to come out with Hyper 2. And that's gonna be the hyper state.
That is going to be called Shogun and will be released in the future.
See, I knew
the
it.
code. Like it still needs to get audited and like fine-tuned, but the code was there. But then we figured out the thing that other developers also figured out while using Liquid Titan X. It's actually a beautiful option. Is I posted this tweet a while back, and it was like, what if somebody just built Titan X on top of Titan X and replaced Ethereum?
Who said that? Who made that joke?
With Titan X. And I was like, oh, that's funny. But then I walked away from my computer and I had this like breakthrough moment. I'm like, wait, that's not a joke. That's fucking genius. And
If Titan X is so good, just put Titan X on top of it.
You create fractals. And then basically all these protocols will also create a scenario where now when the price dips, people are scared because there's nothing else to do with your Titan X other than sell it or stake it.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, now dips result in panic selling. Future dips are going to result in panic buying because they want to be able to get in cheaper than the other people and other protocols because your cost basis is based on Titan X. It's very interesting. But people, it's going to click once everything's finally here. But for example, a hypothetical scenario: you mine Hyper with Titan X when the Titan X price is up 10x. So you buy Titan X off a market if you don't have time to mine it, and you start Hyper miners with your Titan X. Now, what if the price drops 80%? Well, now you can start Hyper miners at an 80% less cost basis than the person that was mining at the top. So instead of a dip being a panic sell, a dip becomes a panic buy because you have opportunities to reduce your cost base compared to everybody else in the protocols.
Yes, I thought that through.
Yeah.
So there will be opportunity to increase your position when Titan X price dips. And as Titan X price rises, that would give reason for Hyper to actually pump because then it's becoming more expensive to create new Hyper. And so that the old Hyper that was created for the Titan X purchase at the dip is worth way more. Ooh, I like it. So I mean, I'm going to put on my negative hat. That's stupid. But here's why. So somebody says, well, why would I want to do Titan X?
Anything crazy? Looks like everybody's gonna build Titan X on top of Titan X. A skyscraper of Titan X's. That's the tweet. December 30th.
X all over again. I'm wrecked right now because I bought the top and whatever. Why would I want to do Titan X all over again? If it's the exact same thing, and maybe it's not the exact same thing. That's an assumption on my part, but based on what you said, I'm mining Hyper with Titan, and you said it yourself. What if someone had just built Titan X all over again on top of Titan X? So I'll get into some more questions that might delineate the two, but why would I want to do Titan X all over again under a different name?
Because you know how to play it.
So because Titan X becomes harder to create. So for example, Titan X was designed to be a leverage play on Ethereum, where if you put, for example, hypothetical could nuke to 0, we're lucky any of the stuff even works, is if you go in with 1 Ethereum and you play it right, you're probably going to come out with 3 Ethereum. So it becomes a multiplication vehicle. Now, that same logic applies to, and that's kind of how all altcoins work. So whenever an L1 token pumps, all the altcoins exist to increase your position in the L1, the native token. Because when the native token moves up to 2x,
Irish
altcoins move up 3 to 5x.
Let me see. There's some more chat I didn't see. Right, 2 stakes, 3. This is not. Yeah, I'm gonna have to really dive into this. I'm not really
on how to design.
Yep.
That same logic applies to Titan X because Titan X is basically like a gap L1. So somebody else had from Telegram chat is he was like, okay, if all these protocols launch on top of Titan X, am I not gonna have confusion and decision fatigue? And I was like, well, this is a little bit different. Are you mad if a protocol builds on top of Ethereum? No, you're like, oh, this increases the value of Ethereum.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't have decision exactly. You don't have decision fatigue. You're like, this is awesome. It locks Ethereum up. It makes it more scarce. Pushes up the Ethereum price. So if you're an Ethereum holder and you have a big Ethereum position, you're like, bring as many dApps as you want. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, you will get this decision fatigue, but you get excited because it's built to be built upon, and that brings the value. Titanx is the same, just built on top of Ethereum. And everything built on top of Titanx has that same effect.
It's a leverage play. So Titanx is a leverage play on Ethereum. A lot of people have used it to increase their position in Ethereum. And Hyper is going to be a leverage play on Titanx. So people will use it to increase their position on Titanx. The only difference being liquid Titanx is going to become very difficult to get. So if you're using Hyper to increase your position on Titanx, and Titanx is disappearing fast because we're crashing, going to zero, rug pull, Jake's a scammer. Nobody's creating more Titanx right now. The future could be very scarce. So I love it. It's again, more rubber banding. Like this one goes out, this one comes back, this one comes in. I can see how this all starts to come together. But I got to ask the question, well, if Titanx is worth nothing, then why would I want to participate in something that's built on top of it?
Well, if it's worth nothing, it's worth nothing. But
good answer.
I don't see that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that happens with everything. Like if Ethereum is worth nothing, yeah, then the point of multiplying your Ethereum is worthless. Because in the beginning, everything at some point has a 95% correction. Whether it's during a bear market or after launch, it just happens. Like Cardano went down 98% and recovered and did 100x. So just because something goes down a lot doesn't mean it's dead. In fact, usually it's great opportunities. Like you could buy the Cardano bottom, and I think it was a second cycle. It launched, went down. I'm not sure if it was second cycle or after launch. It dropped 98%, 99% actually. If you look on the chart, you have to go to an old chart, and then went up 187.70x.
Nice.
In the next cycle. So just because something drops doesn't mean it's dead. As long as there's community activity, there's a future for the protocol. People understand. People actually read the white paper. That's a big one. I posted a tweet on Twitter of like a guy, and he had like a triangle.
All right. Let's see if anything else is going on YouTube. We'll come back to it. See what crypto bro talking about. Listen to that. That's old. There you go.
So that, I guess you could say that all-time low now is just basically the group of individuals. There's always going to be, looks like 500 miners, 500 wallets being created right now. Opportunists. But right now, yeah, we're at the lowest possible idea. We're actually seeing, active miners go down, which is impacting the supply.
Seeing keep on falling.
So supply is still going up, but you can see it's starting to get some ridges. Or some ridges in its bridges. Because again, Zen is deflationary because people can burn it. So if the amount of tokens coming out don't match the burn.
It's time to upgrade your tire.
Yeah, it's time to upgrade my damn YouTube. Let me do that today. I always mean to do it, but I forget. What's nigga playing video games? Nothing. I think I'm about to play the game. I don't know. What y'all think? Ain't nobody saying nothing. Bitcoin will go ever. Watch this before buying crypto.
Ask yourself this question. Were you allowed in the Craptos APT ICO? No. Are you allowed in the Monad Gonad ICO right now with Kobe? No. Were you allowed in the Molestia TIA ICO? No. Were you allowed in the Arbitrum ICO? No, you weren't. The Ethereum insiders are on side 950x. Pantera Capital is on side 158x from the Arbitrum ICO. They sold Luna at the top while going on crypto channels and telling everyone it was the buy of a lifetime, and it was revealed in their filings they made $100 million dumping on retail heads. Were you allowed in the ICO for Luna either? No, you weren't. I'm telling you right now, there are coins that you trade and there are coins that you hold. And all those coins you see pumped all over crypto, like Craptos and Pui, they are not holding coins. They are trading coins. Pui with the ticker SUI stands for soy under the influence. That's exactly what you are if you think you can hold these coins as they unlock all their tokens onto you, friends. These influencers get cheaper prices and tell you it's worth 1,000x higher.
I'm trying to think, do I notice more of this cycle? Did they always hate influencers? And isn't it crazy how it's always the influencers saying that they don't like influencers? What's some more crypto channels, man? Motherfuckers don't be uploading. Party over saying Bitcoin. What's Ivan talking about?
Okay, guys, I'm ready. Pressing the button, starting the show. Oh, yes, guys, we're back with yet another episode. And as you can see right now, Bitcoin is at 45.8K. And of course, many people are wondering, what happened? Why is it so that we're not mooning? Why is it so
Who
that
is
we're
wondering that, Ivan? Who is wondering that? None of us are wondering that. These influencers play a very dangerous game. They talk to their subscribers as if they are noobs. And that attracts noobs. Because everybody knows that it should be falling anyway because you buy the rumor, sell the news. If you don't know that much, then you're very new to crypto. You know?
at 65K? Why is it so that we're not at 100K already? See, the expectations for the ETF are very high, and many people are already right now giving up. They're saying, hey, ETF was a failure. It didn't do anything. It was just a massive failure. It didn't pump. We are still around this area at 45, 46. Nothing has happened. And I'm here to tell you that this is...
Yeah, it's just too much. Look at it, 43. Duh. Duh. Nigga. Duh. Like, this is much easier. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to be right when you just, you know what I'm saying, go with what you know already. Duh. Let's see how it does. New title. Bitcoin crashing. Why? Let's get people over here and actually teach them to be smart. Bitcoin crashing. Let's see what happens.
This is the biggest trap for the bears. See, always when you have a big announcement such as the ETF, the reality is confirmed to the expectations. And expectations were massive for the ETF. And of course, now that the trading starts, no matter how big the trading is, even though the trading was 4 billion in the first day, the expectations were even higher. Like we said, the expectations were, hey, we're gonna have like trillions in crypto. We're gonna have like the whole world in...
Yeah, I can't. When he starts doing that, I can't listen. I'm waiting on Ricky to call the Bitcoin top again so I can sell my Bitcoins. I just can't. ETH holding well. Yeah, ETH was looking good. I've been looking at ETH versus BTC. You know, LP is on fire. Wish I would have pulled it down here. Wish I would have pulled that shit down here. I was thinking about it. I was like, should pull it. But nah, it's all good. Over here like, fuck! Get to the chopper. More news than OGs, so more views. Yeah, I know the answer to the questions I'm asking, you know. Just talk and talk and talk with no action shown. Yeah. So it's attacking this 200. I mean, I'm not even mad because I'm an ETH bro. So I am kind of upset that I didn't get to capture that ETH by pulling it, but it's all good. I think it'll pull back because I'm feeling sad. So it's probably going to stop at this resistance. If it bursts through here, then I'll start getting worried like, damn. But yeah, we got filled in though. I'm still, look, I think if it pulls back below that 200, I'm gonna pull it. I just go with what I got and see. More Ava subscriptions a sleeper. Look, man, I can just say, I mean, it could be. I don't know. Let's look at some of these. Remember this from yesterday? It was like right here yesterday. I'm watching this. Seems cool, but it's like, I don't know. The tech seems really cool, but maybe I'm just late to that. Maybe it's old tech. I don't know. I said probably add a 0. But you know, been on this ride a million times. All right. Let's see if I missed anything interesting. All right, let's go play some COD. Links in the description to the gaming channel. Let me see. Nah, it ain't down there. I'll put it down there real quick. Let me get the link for y'all real quick to the gaming channel. Just in case, you know, somebody's not aware. All right, if you hit refresh and you need that link, you'll see it. Shout out to all the new members, man. Welcome aboard. If you want bonus videos, definitely check out the bonus videos tier. Or you can cancel it. It doesn't matter. Talk to y'all.